Hola amigos, bienvenidos a otra día de español. Hey guys, welcome back for some more Spanish. Vamos a continuar con el capítulo 2 y vamos a mejorar cómo podemos usar los adjetivos. So we're going to continue on with chapter 2 and I want to improve how we can use our adjectives. So we're going to work specifically with a different set of adjectives that will help us describe directions today. But using these adjectives won't be much different from what we practiced in chapter 1. So if you've had any trouble using adjectives in chapter 1, you want to go back and watch that video or practice some of those activities. But here we're going to use those same skills to talk about where things are and hopefully get the skills we need to read a map, to listen and hear someone describe a map, and to be able to describe where things are. So let's get started. The first word we need is encima de. Encima de. This is the word we'll use to describe that something's on top of or above something. Debajo de is our word under, and we can use it to say that things are beneath. Under or beneath are both good words for this. Al lado de literally says to the side of. So this is what we'll use to say that something's next to something else or beside something else. Detrás de is to physically be behind someone or to be behind something. So we'll use detrás de as behind. We do have two different words for in front of. Delante de could also mean before, in my opinion. So you could use this to say that you're before someone on a list, or that maybe your song is next on the playlist. While enfrente de is physically in front of someone. To my understanding, both of these are used interchangeably, and they both are good words to say in front. Alrededor, around. This means surrounding. This doesn't mean near. A lot of times in English, we'll use the word around to say something's nearby, and it doesn't mean that. Aquí means right here. Adentro de is what we use for inside, and afuera de is for outside. So we're going to stick with the Growing Learning Spanish book for just a little bit here, and I'm going to let you guys see this chapter 1 type example where I'm just saying el edificio, the edifice, the building, es alto, is tall. So I'm going to go from this basic sentence, the building is tall, and we're going to use this sentence as the base to talk about where the building is. So continuing on talking about the building, I could say el edificio, still the building, es, is, and if you guys have taken the extra credit level when we're talking about directions, we say está. I'll make a video about estar. El edificio está al lado de. The building is next to. And now the last thing you have to add here is your reference point. This is the thing that you're comparing it to. So if we continue on with the same sentence, I could say el edificio es al lado de el parque. De plus el becomes del in a sentence like this. And in this lesson is usually when I start teaching about the contraction of de and el and a and el and how it doesn't work with de la. This is a good time for students to start practicing this. Up until we learn this lesson, I typically accept de el and a el until we can improve. So let's go ahead and see these on some more advanced sentences. So the sentences we're going to try on our document will be some that will not be quite as easy as we typically start in class. These are the ones that I'm really aiming for by the end of chapter 2. If you're done with, if you've completed all of the skills that we're trying to build about possession, these sentences should feel pretty easy to you before we move into our next chapter exploring a lot of different verbs. So we're going to try and say, my cousin has a dog behind her house. You want to start with a sentence that will look like, my cousin has a big dog. And then we're going to replace that word big with the one behind, and then we can add our reference point after that. Our friends don't have a car in the city. This should say inside the city. Her apartment has a garden on top of the bedroom or above the bedroom. Why do you have 3 bicycles in front of your room? I'm going to take that behind out of there as I edit the book. All right, y'all, let's try and work through these. All right, you guys, so here are the directional words, and we're going to try and work through each of these sentences together. If you haven't had a chance to try this on your own, I'd go ahead and pause the video and give this a try. All right, so with my cousin, this will look like mi primo. This would also be mi prima. Has, we're going to choose the form of tener that matches my cousin. Not tengo, not tienes. It'll be our third one. It's going to be tiene. Un perro is our word for a dog. It's in our chapter 2 vocab. And we're going to choose behind de, we're going to choose behind, detrás de, her house, not mi casa, not tu casa, but su casa. Very good. Let me put the accent on this A, and we will continue on. Our friends don't have a car in the city. So this word our is one of the possessive adjectives that I found my students forget most often, and they'll use nosotros, and that's not really what we want to use. So we don't want me, we don't want tu, we don't want su. What we need here is nuestros. Nuestros amigos. No. All right, so when we are thinking about our friends, which form of tener do we want to match our friends? Yo? No. Tú? No. Él or ella? Almost. That will be our friend. Nosotros? No. Ellos? Sí. Our friends are they. So we're going to say no tienen un carro adentro de la ciudad. The word car and city are both chapter 2 vocab words. All right, let's continue on. Her apartment has a garden on top of the bedroom. So here, is it me, my apartment? No. Tu, your apartment? No. So it's su apartamento, her apartment. Tiene un jardín, there's an accent on the I, encima del cuarto de dormir. Other words we've seen for bedroom is just del cuarto. We could also say de la habitación. We could also say del dormitorio. I like the word dormitorio because it sounds like some words that we use in English. Let me add the accent here. All right. Why do you have 3 bicycles in front of your room? And if you did it the other way, behind your room, I'm fine with that, but not behind in front. So here we need por que, the one that is spaced out because we're saying for what? Tienes, we're choosing the second conjugation because we're talking about you. Tres bicicletas, and then which one is in front? You could choose delante de or enfrente de. So we're going to say delante de tu, which room? Cuarto de dormir, dormitorio. Let's just go ahead and stick with dormitorio. All right, you guys, in the next video, what we'll do is we'll take some time to try and use these skills to describe a couple of pictures and a map. And we're going to add in our cardinal directions, north, norte, east, este, sur, and oeste, south and west, to really be able to use these sentences in real life. I hope this helped you out. Adios.